Imagine an empire so vast, its influence still shapes our world today. An empire of legendary legions, colossal monuments, and emperors who were worshipped as gods. This is the story of Rome, a small city-state that rose to conquer the known world, only to crumble into dust. How did it happen? Let's journey back in time and uncover the epic saga of the Roman Empire. Our story begins not with an empire, but with a legend. Twin brothers Romulus and Remus, suckled by a she-wolf, destined for greatness. According to myth, Romulus founded Rome on the Palatine Hill in 753 BC. From these humble, mythical beginnings, a republic was born. Power was not in the hands of a king, but with the people, represented by the Senate. This new form of government, the Roman Republic, set the stage for centuries of expansion. Fueled by ambition and an unparalleled military machine, the Roman legions began their relentless march. The Punic Wars against Carthage were a defining moment. For over a century, these two superpowers battled for control of the Mediterranean. The brilliant Carthaginian general, Hannibal, even crossed the Alps with elephants to attack Rome on its own soil. It was a terrifying, near-death experience for the Republic, but Rome, resilient and stubborn, ultimately prevailed. By the end of the Third Punic War, Carthage was utterly destroyed, and Rome was the undisputed master of the sea. Conquests followed in Greece, Egypt, and Gaul, a territory famously subdued by a rising general named Julius Caesar. Caesar's ambition was as vast as the lands he conquered. His military genius and popularity with the people were a threat to the old guard in the Senate. After crossing the Rubicon River with his army in act of open rebellion, he plunged the Republic into civil war. He emerged victorious, declaring himself dictator for life. But his reign was cut short on the Ides of March, 44 Besa, when he was assassinated by a group of senators hoping to restore the Republic. They failed. Instead, his death paved the way for his grandnephew, Octavian. After defeating his rivals, Mark Antony and Cleopatra, Octavian took a new name, August. In 27 BC, he became the first Roman emperor, and the Roman Empire was officially born. This ushered in the Pax Romana, 2 centuries of unprecedented peace and prosperity. It was the golden age of Rome. Under emperors like Augustus, Trajan, and Hadrian, the empire reached its greatest extent, stretching from Britain to Mesopotamia, from the Rhine River to the Sahara Desert. A network of incredible roads connected this vast territory, proclaiming that all roads lead to Rome. Grand aqueducts, marvels of engineering, brought fresh water to bustling cities. And in the heart of the capital, the Colosseum stood as a symbol of Roman power, hosting spectacular and brutal gladiatorial games. So what was it like to live in this mighty empire? For the wealthy elite, life was a luxurious affair of lavish villas, extravagant banquets, and political intrigue. But for the vast majority, life was hard. Most people were farmers, artisans, or soldiers. The city of Rome itself was a crowded, noisy, and often unsanitary place, with a population of over 1 million people packed into apartment blocks called insulae. Society was built on the backs of slaves, who had no rights and performed much of the empire's labor. Yet, there were public baths for all, free grain distributions, and the ever-present bread and circuses to keep the populace entertained and distracted. After the Golden Age, the cracks began to show. The 3rd century crises saw a dizzying succession of short-lived emperors, constant civil war, and economic collapse. Barbarian tribes like the Goths and Vandals began to press harder on the empire's long frontiers. Emperors like Diocletian tried to manage the unwieldy empire by splitting it into an eastern and a western half, each with its own ruler. Constantine the Great went a step further, legalizing Christianity and moving the capital from Rome to a new city he named Constantinople. These were desperate measures to save a sinking ship. So what truly brought down the mightiest empire the world had ever seen? It wasn't one single event, but a perfect storm of problems. The empire was simply too big to govern effectively. The constant wars were ruinously expensive, leading to crippling taxes and a debased currency. The Roman army, once a disciplined force of citizen soldiers, increasingly relied on barbarian mercenaries who had little loyalty to Rome. A series of weak and incompetent emperors didn't help. Political corruption was rampant, and then there were the relentless invasions. The final blow came in for 76 AD, when the last Western Roman emperor, a young boy ironically named Romulus Augustulus, was deposed by the Germanic chieftain Odoacer. The Western Roman Empire had fallen, but the story doesn't end there. The Eastern Roman Empire, later known as the Byzantine Empire, with its capital at Constantinople, would survive for another 1,000 years, preserving Roman law, culture, and knowledge. The legacy of Rome is all around us, in our languages, our laws, our architecture, and our ideas about government. The eagle's standard has fallen. The legions have marched into history, but the echo of Rome still resounds through the centuries. It's a timeless story of ambition, power, and the ultimate truth that even the greatest empires are not eternal. Thanks for joining us on this journey through Roman history. If you enjoyed this, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more epic stories from the past. See you next time.